No idea what happened there, but welcome back. This is take two. I had somebody else enter the live, and then I think maybe when they left, I don't know what happened, but I think they might have clicked end stream instead of maybe just leaving. I don't know. That was weird. Don't know what happened. But let's back up and start talking about head coach Olaf Melberg. Again, 117 caps as a center back for Sweden, mostly wearing the captain's armband. 578 professional matches, 232 with Aston Villa. Again, like we mentioned, no player with more than one goal scored for them in 2025. Xande Silva just acquired in a deal with Atlanta. So hopefully adding some dynamism to the attack up top. I apologize. I didn't mean to click the OnlyFans button. Bam, that's my fault. And again, acquiring Simon Becher with the permanent transfer. So looking to keep the offense moving for St. Louis City, a team that has only scored 5 goals on the season. Couple of players, in addition to Simon Becher, who scored a goal for them already this season, a couple of players to watch out for. Marcel the Model Hartel, 1 goal and 1 called back in their last match against Vancouver. He's a midfielder, normally a pretty dynamic player there in the midfield for them. And Cedric Teucher. Cedric Teucher, the only player on St. Louis City with both a goal this season and an assist this season. Yes, that's the kind of highlights that we're having to talk about when it comes to the offense of St. Louis City SC. They only have 5 players who have scored a goal. They only have 3 players who have delivered an assist, and only 1 player has done both through 9 matches this season, and that's Cedric Teucher. But those are not the players to watch from either myself or, like I mentioned before, like Andy Diosa was talking about when he was here in the chat. Those are not the players to watch from either myself or Flyover Footy, who is St. Louis City's podcast, one of the largest podcasts run by St. Louis City supporters out there. So with that, let's get in. Oh, first of all, I want to show you guys. Yeah, that's right. Here's the scarf. That's an absolutely beautiful scarf. I love the LAFC with the ribbon, the childhood cancer ribbon there. This is a scarf that'll be on sale at LAFC HQ. Gomez, maybe. I don't know. This will be the scarf that's on sale tomorrow at LAFC HQ. And again, I got a couple already. I got the yellow one here that you can see. And then the one I'm wearing around my neck from Joshua. It's always a cause near and dear to my heart as well. So there's that. Let's get into the players to watch. And I'm cheating a little bit on this one. I'm going to talk first about St. Louis City SC's player to watch. And that would be 29-year-old backup goalkeeper Ben Lundt. Why are we watching the 29-year-old German goalkeeper Ben Lundt? Well, because, like I said, Roman Bürki has a broken hand. Ben cut his teeth mainly with Louisville City and Phoenix Rising, both in the USL, had 44 starts for Phoenix Rising over the last couple of seasons before he went to St. Louis. And then before that, 30 starts with Louisville City. So 74 matches played over the course of, 3 seasons, I believe, with those 2 clubs. But upon moving to St. Louis City SC, he has barely played. Just 4 matches combined, 1 in 2023 and 3 in 2024 in the MLS regular season. So tough sledding to find playing time when you're backing up Roman Bürki. That's the breaks. He is a stalwart in goal. But what happened? He broke his hand 3rd match into the season. Me too, Genuine Cougar. And now 6 matches played, more than doubling his MLS total in 2025. He has allowed only 6 goals in those 6 matches. He allowed 2 just recently to Columbus, none in the last match to Vancouver. He has completed 2 clean sheets. So doing a wonderful job as the backup, taking the place of Roman Bürki. Oh, man, that is hilarious. There is a whole chat going on YouTube right now that, because we keep it family friendly, I'm not going to talk about, but I love it so much. You guys are the best. So Ben Lundt, my player to watch. And for LAFC, like a couple of you have said on social media, we got to put that one up. That's hilarious. Like a couple of you have said on social media, I love the chat so much right now. You guys are the best. Uh, this may be the start of the audition process, as if he's needed to audition for Ante Razov. Ante Razov, obviously one of our assistants on the bench of Steve Cherundolo, but I believe that's who I think will be taking over on the bench, as Steve got the red card in our last match against Portland. So Steve gets the red card, and that means Ante Razov is going to step up. We'll see how the boys respond to Ante Razov. Not sure what type of communication Steve Cherundolo, I would imagine none, Steve Cherundolo can have with him during the match, but obviously it's still been Steve Cherundolo running the practices this week, and it will be Steve Cherundolo's team moving forward all the way through the rest of 2025. But it is a Dolo out match for all of you supporters. Gomez Jr., you're absolutely right. It is a Dolo out match for sure. Ante Razov, by the way, an MLS legend, one of a handful of players to score over 100 goals in Major League Soccer, winning MLS Cup under Bob Bradley early in the MLS for Chicago Fire. So again, it'll be an interesting scene for Ante Razov. Ruben, actually, I know the answer to this. Ruben asked, who is Eric Green and why do we always welcome him back? Eric Green is a friend of Will Ferrell's, and it's just Will's way of messing with him every time he is at the match. And I got to ask Eric about that one time, and he said, yeah, Will just likes to mess with me. So that's why he's always on the thing. That's all it is. It's an inside joke between Will Ferrell and his buddy Eric Green. So they do it all the time. And bam, the rumors were not true. We did not sign Chief Cherundolo. That was the I think that's like Led Tasso, right? When Ted gets very angry in the series there. Would have loved to have had him, but unfortunately not the case. Let's take a look at what our friends at Flyover Footy had to say. Their players to watch, one from each side. From St. Louis, the one player is going to be Joao Klaus. St. Louis has struggled mightily in scoring goals, but they've gotten better as the season's progressed in creating chances and producing higher XG shots. That's what it's like right now supporting St. Louis City. I'm reading the words of Flyover Footy. They're talking about just being hopeful to produce high XG shots. But the finishing, much like LAFC sometimes this season, has not been there. 2 weeks ago, Klaus scored his first goal since May of 2024. And last week, he played a key role in contributing to their chances created. If he finds form against LAFC, Flyover Footy says, St. Louis may stand a chance. His contributions aren't ball hawking in the box, though. It's coming back deeper at times to help in link-up play, holding the ball for the other attackers or even midfielders to play through him. And yes, finishing when he can in both transition play and set pieces. He's a focal point for their crosses too. And St. Louis has success getting the ball into the middle third, but it's usually reliant upon Klaus, no relation to Santa Claus, by the way, for the most effective final third entry for St. Louis. So Joao Klaus is their man to watch, Flyover Footy's man to watch for St. Louis City FC. And he says, if I were to give one player to watch for LAFC, it's Denis Bouanga, though I don't know if you need me to say that. He's torched St. Louis with 3 goals in 2 games last year, and we just never seem to have an answer for him. He was my absolute key to shut down when we previewed LAFC, says Matt and our friends over at Flyover Footy. So I want to thank them for their players to watch. More from Flyover Footy in just a minute. Let's get to my keys to the match. The first is to press, press, press. I think this is a club that is going to have a hard time getting players behind the defense of LAFC. So I think LAFC should press as high as they possibly can to create some of those turnovers. We've seen some excellent chances over the last couple of weeks with this high pressure, and I think we are going to see more of it again. look for maybe another opportunity by Olivier Giroud, who has had a tough time finding one in open play. Obviously, we are all very excited when Olivier was able to score off of a banger of a free kick. But I think this could be one where maybe we get Olivier out on one of those early turnovers. Maybe it's a Timothy Tillman high press, which we've seen a bunch of times. Maybe it's Denis Bouanga. Maybe it's David Martinez. We'll have to see. But I think as long as we continue to press, we're going to be okay. And I think he sort of alluded to it, flyover footy, with why Denis Bouanga is such a problem. But I think between David Martinez and Denis Bouanga on the outside, our boys need to run. When they get the ball on the wings, get it up the field as quickly as possible, and then look to create chances by either taking your defender 1v1, or in the case of what David Martinez and Denis Bouanga like to do, sometimes 1v2. Look for a cross in the middle if it's Olivier Giroud. Nathan Ordaz, if he's out there, a straight line 9, try to get the goals into the back of the net. But as long as we get out and run, our two biggest assets are David Martinez and Denis Bouanga. So I love the press, and I love for us to be able to get out and run. But let's talk about who Flyover Footy, what Flyover Footy says with their keys to the match. The first is beat LAFC's press and prevent defensive half turnovers. St. Louis has continued to try to play the ball out of the back through 9 games. And while they've shown glimpses of success, they haven't been able to replicate it much. And so they try to pass over a line to get the ball into the attacking half, or get creative from goal kicks with obviously designed plays that use key ball carriers like Marcel Hartel and Conrad Wallum. St. Louis's few goals allowed in the run of play have also come when they've turned the ball over in their defensive half and are either beaten with numbers or have allowed too much space to open up between their back line and central midfielders. This enables quality shots by the opposition in the 10 to 18 yard areas, and has consistently shown to be a weak point when we turn the ball over in more dangerous areas. And they also want to make sure that they finish their chances. It might seem obvious, but there's not really much separation between these two teams in XG and XA. It's just that St. Louis is finishing about half of what the numbers tell us they should be finishing. Quality touches by our attackers have been a consistent point of frustration. We aren't creating a ton of chances in the final third. They have league low possession numbers, by the way, something else to talk about. But the times we do, we're one of the poorest finishing teams in MLS so far this season. So it looks like they've got a lot more problems in finishing chances than LAFC does this year. Score prediction for me, I think it's going to be 2-0 LAFC. And I think it's only going to be 2-0 because of how staunch the defense is for St. Louis City. I really do believe we're going to get a couple times where we're going to get behind their guys, and it's going to be all about finishing. I think it's going to have a lot to do with Denis Bouanga. We saw, obviously, last match, we saw that they are going to try and double and triple Denis Bouanga when at all possible. And I wasn't sure he was going to get one. But the reason why there was the more subdued celebration, obviously, underneath his shirt, he was wearing rest in peace, Aaron Boupendza. We saw no flip because it was all about celebrating his friend's life, who unfortunately passed a couple weeks ago. I think we see a different Denis Bouanga for the rest of this season. He's obviously scored in the last 2 matches, so I think he's already on to kind of picking up the pace. I said at the end of this season, Denis Bouanga will still get to 20 goals scored in all competitions. I think that's a wrap. I think he's absolutely still going to get to 20. But I think carried by the energy and the idea of playing for his fallen friend, Aaron Boupendza, I think we are going to see a different Denis Bouanga for the rest of the season. And I pity the rest of MLS, who has to deal with now an even more motivated, more fired up Denis Bouanga. I think he is going to be the catalyst for both of these goals. I think we could see another moment of brilliance for David Martinez, but I think it'll be Denis Bouanga with 1. And I think our team leader in assists, by the way, with 3, is Marky Delgado in Major League Soccer. I think he's going to get another assist in this one, maybe a little ball that filters through to one of those wing players, or maybe even across to Giroud. We'll see for one of those 2 goals. And I'll read you what Flyover Footy said. I'm taking the more optimistic for us of their 2 answers. He said, optimistically, I hope for a 1-1 draw, but realistically, a 1-0 LAFC win would not surprise me. I haven't seen near enough from City SC yet to make me think they're ready to drop multiple goals away from home to a team they've never scored a goal against. So even St. Louis City's biggest podcast, I really appreciate their candor and all of the information that they sent us. A big thank you to Flyover Footy in St. Louis for the fantastic information. Again, very much appreciated everything there with them. Really do appreciate it all. So that's their take, a 1-0 victory. I love it. I love going into this match. I really like LAFC's chances to continue the momentum that we are starting to build. Yes, it was only a 3-3 draw last week against Portland in Portland, but after going down 2-0, it was one of those that I really liked our response. And then after we come back to tie, we go down right away again, 3-2. I just really like the way we responded. I didn't like the way our defense played very well in that match, and I thought Hugo has got to get on the ball just a little bit more than he does. But either way, I think that this is another momentum builder for LAFC, and we've got some time, like we said, our 5-match streak that we are currently in match number 3 of, with every single match being at least 6 days apart from the next, is everything that the doctor ordered for LAFC to get good and get right at the important time. Yes, Carson still has not won through 9 matches. They play tomorrow as well, so we'll be looking to see what happens to them through 10 matches. I don't expect the streak to last very long, y'all, and I'm going to be perfectly honest. As an LAFC supporter, I haven't even looked at what's going on anywhere below us or above us in the table other than Vancouver when it comes to the West this season. And obviously, with everybody concentrating on CONCACAF Champions Cup like we all were, I wasn't that worried about MLS standings. We're doing enough to keep ourselves in the playoff hunt. Someone's got to help me out here. Maybe I should ask Genuine Cougar. Bilateral legs was the injury to Odin Thiago Holm. We won't have Odin in the next match here coming up. Don't expect to see Odin Holm in the midfield for us. I highly doubt, by the way, that we'll see either Frankie Amaya or Ryan Raposo, which we will talk about on the next episode of Defenders of the Bank. When we talk about the recap of this match, we'll certainly talk about the local boy coming home and Frankie Amaya and Syracuse, Ryan Raposo. I don't know how I feel about both these pickups. I think all that means for us is that we're a little deeper with some guys who have played a lot of MLS minutes. So there you go. Either way, I've got 2-0. The guys over at Flyover Footy have 1-0. Let me know what you guys think. And don't forget, parking is going to be a bear tomorrow. So make sure that you guys either get there early or find all your creative solutions for parking. Otherwise, you know how we like to end each and every one of these matches. You guys, thank you so much for all of your support. Thank you so much for everything that you do to access all the Defenders of the Bank content. We absolutely love you guys. And you know how we like to end all these things. Bye-bye.